Sam Bennett's career has many parts: congressional candidate, businesswoman, community leader, and now president and CEO of the Women's Campaign Forum. At WCF, Sam has fostered collaboration with many sister organizations, including NOW. The She Should Run campaign at WCF is a program designed to build a pipeline with women candidates. NOW is partnering with WCF in this effort. In November 2008, Sam ran for the U.S. House of Representatives in Pennsylvania's 15th District. A first-time congressional candidate, she gained national attention with her fundraising skills and won endorsements from over 40 national organizations. Well, I'll do some more. Sam's been an ongoing champion for voter registration, working as a field director for a nonpartisan voter registration group. She helped lead the effort that resulted in Pennsylvania's 15th District being the top performing swing region in the country. So here to discuss the importance of encouraging women to run for office is Sam Bennett.
There was data that was released that scared the bejesus out of conservative men. I would have liked to have been in the room when they saw this research, and here's what the research showed. That you elect a woman to office of any party, and this has been substantiated over and over and over again, that woman will vote more progressively than a man 88% of the time. 88% of the time. Women when elected are progressive 88% of the time. Now Rutgers, Debbie Walsh, if you haven't been onto their website, go on there one day, the Center for Women, and what is it called? Center for Women in Politics. There we go, that one. And Debbie Walsh has been there 30 years, she's an amazing resource. And she'll show you, this is what Debbie says all the time. Conservative women, and I'm not saying we should vote for conservative women, that's not what I'm saying, I just want to make a point here, okay? Conservative women vote more progressively than conservative men and Democratic men. That's what the research shows, folks. Now, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Men run for office because they see it as a pathway to power. Women run for office overwhelmingly because they want to make change in their communities. So your homework is this. We must encourage women to run for office in unprecedented numbers. We need to build an army of women who will not say no, who will run, who put themselves in the line, no matter what the obstacles, and run for office. So I ask you, will you help us nominate women to run? This is a really big audience. You can do way better than that, all right? Will you help us? Will you nominate women to run? Yes! Much better. I like it. Good job. So those women might not win the first time. Will you promise and pledge that you will encourage them to run again? Yes! Awesome. Now here's what goes on. A man wakes up in the morning, looks in the mirror, and he goes, "Ah, see a senator." Go out on any street, in any town, in this country, and go up to the first man you see and say, "Hey, we got an opening on the school board. What do you say?" Guess what the man says? Yes. Yes. Then you ask him a follow-up question. Just wondering, what are your qualifications? He says none. And then you ask him another follow-up question and say, "Will you still run for school board?" What does he say? Yes! Got exactly right. So, in the same town, on the same street, on the same day, go up to any woman who has a master's in education and ask her to run for school board. What does she say? I'm not qualified. Here's what she says, and repeat it after me. I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified. That's exactly what she says. Is that the biggest line of horse feathers you ever heard? Yes. Yes. So what will change her mind? You will. You will. Here's the deal. Phenomenal research done in part by Barbara Lee, the incomparable Barbara Lee, who focuses on this stuff, wonderful philanthropist out of Boston. She has found that women don't need to be asked once to run. How many times do they need to be asked to run? Not twice, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 times. I can tell the people on my thing yesterday. Good job. Good job. You get a star, A+, all right? So how many times do you have to ask these women to run? You tell me. 6 times. So how on earth do we do that, right? Yeah. So here's the deal. You must ask them often and frequently and relentlessly. Because women at their heart, our culture has done such a horrible job. Our culture is so anti-woman that men think they're entitled and women think they're not qualified. So that's what we're pushing up against here, folks. This will not happen organically. It will not happen naturally. It will only happen if we have a movement to encourage women to run for office. Will you be part of that movement? Yes! Thank you. A few more data points. Now, I was just on Fox News. I'm their token liberal blonde chick. All right? That's me. I don't know why they keep having me on. I disagree with everything they say. I was on this panel where there was a woman to my right who was a staunch supporter of Hillary Clinton. And Fox News was trying to say that Obama was going to lose because the women weren't going to vote for him because they were still pissed off about Hillary Clinton. And I said, I tell you, it's a real easy choice. The far right, the Tea Partiers, have attacked women's basic rights on the local level, on the state level, on the federal level, in unprecedented numbers in this past year. So here's the choice: Obama and awfulness. And the very lovely woman, she's really cool actually, Lady Lynn de Rothschild. What a cool name, right? She got a little pissed off at me. All right, and she said, "How dare you say that?" I said, "The only thing I can say is, I'm sorry, Lady Lynn. I'm sorry you're pissed off about Hillary, but guess what? It's true." So here's your first homework assignment. Any friend you got that's still mad about Hillary, take her down out of the trees and make sure she goes to the polls. Will you do that? Yes. And really, this is really important. You've got to talk your friends down out of the trees. And they are out there, they are legion, they're influential. I find myself on the Washington Post, in Time magazine, presenting counterpoint to these Hillary Clinton women who are still mad. You got to fight this, folks. You got to fight it. Number 2. Women have to ask to be run 6 times. But here's the deal with women. They got to be asked to run by someone they know, respect, or trust, or they don't believe them. So it's real simple. It's called sheshouldrun.org. I have a whole box of cards with the numbers, a web address on it. Every day you meet a fabulous woman, nominate her. Take your Christmas card list, take every woman you know. If she's the kind of woman that no one can say no to, if she's the kind of woman that can everybody bake a cake for the PTA thing, all right? If she's the kind of woman that everybody listens to, even though she might be introverted and soft-spoken, nominate her to office. Nominate her, and we promise you it's at no cost to her, no cost to you, and we are building an army. When I came to Women's Campaign Fund 2 years ago, we had 700 women. Now we have 300,000 women in this program. Wow. All right? I barely see my husband. I barely see my wonderful little menopause oops who's 8-year-olds. I have a 27-year-old, 25-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Left over every form of birth control known to God and man, right? You didn't want to be in the doctor's office at 44. My doctor said, "No, you don't have ovarian cancer, you're pregnant." You don't want to know what I said, right? I said, "Okay, here we go." But I'm all across the country giving this message. We need women to run, and if you care about progressive values, we need armies of women running across this country in unprecedented numbers, and I'm going to ask you one more time, will you promise to do that for us? Yes! Great. Now, the last thing you need to do, and then I'll sit down so we can hear from the incomparable Lois Frankel. When I ran for U.S. Congress, here's the number 2 reason why women say they don't run. Now, women strongly consider running for office 50% less than men do. When women run, they win at equal rates to men, all things being equal. When they run, they raise as much money as men, all things being equal. What's the problem? Why are we ranked 90th in the world behind Cuba and Afghanistan in the number of women in elected office? With the first backslide in women in elected office in Congress and the first time in 30 years. What the heck is going on? Women don't think of running. And worse than that, they don't even run when they think about it. Why? First of them cite work-life balance concerns. How many men cite work-life balance concerns in their choices for running for office? How many? None. None, thank you. Women cite it 76% of the time. Okay, so all of your friends, once you've nominated them, and by the way, that means you all have to run for office too. I hate to break it to you, but that's the truth of it, okay? Here's what you need to do. Take your husband's hand and show him the dishwasher. My two girls, I've run for mayor, I've run for Congress. My daughters went to college, they said, Mom, we were the only ones that knew how to grocery shop. We were the only ones that knew how to separate the whites from the colors. Train your children and go run for office. Will you do that for me? When you train your family and make them more independent, knock off this Martha Stewart nonsense and let's get going. Role model leadership to your children, please. And your husbands. The second most frequently reason they cite, you're welcome. The second most important reason that they cite, no, I'm going to finish in a minute. The second most important reason they cite is this, okay? They're concerned about how the media will treat them. So, here's what you got to do. You see media sexism against women, report it to nameitchangeit.org. Celinda Lake did the research. As long as a woman goes to camera and says it's sexist, she regains all the lost votes and gets a nice bump at the end. You guys are going to nominate women to run, and you're going to fight sexism against women candidates. You promise me? Yes! You promise me? Yes! One more time. Do you promise me? Yes! Thanks, guys.